And here we go. So here we go. Here we go. Welcome to everyone that is joining and going to join. So now this session is all about something that was pre-recorded that we're going to premiere now. But the main star turn of that session, Kandu joins us. So, good to have you, Kandu.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, so good to have you, Kandu. So, without much ado, let's launch straight into it. Like I was just saying to the audience, this is something that we had pre-recorded, but I didn't just want to launch it into the space as a premiere. I wanted you to be here so that anybody that has questions can come in the course of us premiering this. So let's get straight into it. So this, as I said, was pre-recorded by Kandu and I earlier. And this now talks you through a step-by-step guide as to how to trade options. So let's watch this. And here we go. So here we go. Don't say I don't do anything for you. So now this is now a real coup for the platform. We have the privilege of having the presence of an experienced stock trader who is going to talk us through how the stock market works. He goes by the moniker Can Do. So I'll bring him on now. As I said, an experienced stock trader that is going to take us through a walkthrough of how the financial stock trading works. So it doesn't, it's not presenting himself as a financial expert, by the way, and do your due diligence. So anything that you hear from Can Do is not financial advice, is the benefit of his experience, having traded the market for quite a vast amount of time. So a real opportunity, Can Do, and thank you for doing this. Can Do, introduce yourself to the space for a moment and tell us what the session is going to be about. Can Do.
Yes, absolutely, one man. Thank you for this opportunity. Um, well, I go by Can Do. That's what most people know me at. And I have been in the financial industry for almost 2 decades. I was with Lehman Brothers for a number of years into bringing companies into the stock market and helping them to refinance their debts, mergers and acquisition, and things of that nature. But I have basically been trading options now for about 15 years. So the objective here is to show people what stock options are, the advantages of them, and also understanding the risks associated with trading options. Most people that I've encountered, they've been told that options are very risky and dangerous things. And I think, like with most things, when you don't know something, it can appear to be dangerous, or something that one can lose a lot of money from. But what I like about options, well, I think I should start with what are options?
Yes, I was going to ask you that. Just for the benefit of the conversation, Kandu and I had a prep conversation prior to recording. And I said to him that I was going to act the idiot, but he wasn't quite keen on the word idiot. So we decided to land that I was going to act as Baba Mutiu, a meat seller from Ojuelegba, wherever, who wants to get into the stock market, has no understanding. So as you were just about to now, Kandu, what are stock options? And then the people hear the term long and short. So just give us a brief synopsis of that, and then we carry on.
Absolutely. Essentially, options, be it stock, commodities, indexes, are essentially a contractual agreement between two people that says that, okay, the buyer, the person who is going to be buying the option, has the right, but not the obligation to go through with the deal. So the best example I use to describe this is, let's say you found a house in a particular neighborhood that you're interested in, but your credit is not that good, but you're building your credit. You're building up your credit. You're working with your bank, and your bank already told you, you know what? You continue to do what you're doing right now. In another 9 months to a year, we'll be able to give you a loan to buy a house. So now you go to the seller of the house and say, I would like to buy your house, but unfortunately, my credit is not that great right now. I'm working with my bank, and in about a year, I'll be able to buy this house from you. So let's say at current price right now, that house is valued at $100,000 or pounds, for example. And then you say to the potential buyer says to the seller that, okay, your house is currently worth $100,000 today. I am willing to pay you 110,000 in a year from now. And for me being able to do that, I'm going to give you a deposit of $5,000. So you sign an agreement, it's legal and binding. So, but for whatever reason now, let's say 6 months from now, they decide to put an airport in that area where the house is. And now the value of that house has now gone from 100,000 to 300,000. So the seller cannot say, Baba Kabiru, that agreement that we made, or we can't do it no more, because it's legally binding. You signed an agreement. So what if I was the buyer, what I would do, or what I could do is, be it 6 months into that term period or 9 months, as long as it's specified that year, as long as it's done within that specified period, I can now go ahead and find somebody else to buy that property for the 300,000 that is valued at now, and give the seller the 110,000 that we agreed on. So from a percentage standpoint, I have used the 5,000 down payment that I gave the seller. I sold the house now for 300,000. I gave him his 110 that we agreed to, and I've been able to pocket $195,000 on a $5,000 deposit. So essentially, what options allow you to do
That
is
sounds like a license to print money.
exactly, exactly. So what options allow you to do is to agree to a term, and for you agreeing to those terms, you put down a specified amount. In this example, 5,000. But let's say for whatever reason they found that area there's been some toxic dump of weapons and what have you from World War II, and nobody wants to live in that area. That agreement that you made with the seller allows you to opt out of the deal. A year from now, you can say, Mr. Seller, you know what? Or my bank said they were going to be able to give me a loan. They just told me I can't get a loan, so I can buy the house. But the seller gets to keep the 5,000 that you gave him in insurance. So you have the right, but you're not obligated to go through with the deal.
Oh, all right, that's excellent, and that sounds promising as well. So I know that that's just a base level understanding, and I know that there's several nuances to it. But just as an entry level introduction, I think all the listeners will understand that. So now walk us through now how the process works.
Can you see this chart on your end, one man? Are you able to see my chart?
No, it's on the screen now.
Okay. So in essence, this is a SPX 500 that some of other people call it SPY, SPY, which is just a short form for the SPS 500. So in essence, what we try to do with options is, be it a particular stock, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, whatever the company is. What we try to do is to establish what price is that instrument, that stock or ETF, what price is it currently right now? And what we want to try and do is to, depending on the tools that we have, to be able to ascertain that, okay, this particular instrument at this particular time is at this point. So, for example, let me use the charts that we're all looking at here. So this is a S&P 500 as of, I believe this was October, this was November of last year. It had been coming down, and finally got to a low point here. So depending on the instrument and the resources that one has to be able to make a determination as to, okay, this thing from this point, it should be going up, or it should be going up from this point. So what options allow us to do is, if we have the right tools, or we know the right people that have the right tools. Let me bring my cross into here. So let's say when the price of this instrument was down here, with and the price down here, if I'm not mistaken, is about 420, or what the value was down here. Just like in my real estate example, if we're able to determine that, okay, by January it's going to be up here at 490. So price was at 420. We're able to ascertain that in 3 months or a month or whatever that duration is going to be at 490. What we could have done, which we actually did in this, when this occurred back in November, was at the 420 price, we go and look into the future and say, okay, by the end of January, this thing should be at 490. What we could then do is go into our option charts. I personally utilize Robinhood. There are other companies out there, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade. So when price was there at 420, what we actually did was we went to our option chart and bought the 450 of this instrument in the future. We bought the January options at 450. Because price was at 420, we bought 450. So that's a $30 difference between the two. By buying those 450 options into the future, we paid $20 per contract for each of those contracts. Just like in the real estate example, we put down, in this case, we put down $20 for each house, right? And with the projection that, okay, in the future, this 450 contract will be at 490. So if this move actually played out, that we went from 420 to 490, each of those contracts that we bought for $20 will be the difference of the 450 and the 490, which is $40. So each of those $20 contract that we bought will now be worth $4,000.
Right, that's quite a leap, but to make those decisions, of course, you have to be in a position of knowing. So how do you get to the position? What tools do you need? What do you need to be looking out? What are the indicators then that enables you to make the decisions as to where to place your money and where to exit with a profit?
Right, and that really is the principal challenge with this. For most people, there are instruments out there provided by some of these trading companies Even just looking on Yahoo Finance, um, you are, I mean, some of these option trading companies like Interactive Brokers, for example, and even Robinhood, they have analysts that actually follow each of these instruments, be it in industrial material, biochemistry, or bio, or finance companies. So they are able to provide people with those those tools. I'm bringing up just a regular old plain charts here, and one of the one of the instruments that a lot of people actually utilize is a Fibonacci. I know this might be a little bit out there for most people, but a good example of how this kind of works
So sorry, how
is,
do you spell that? What Nachi? What did you call it?
I'm sorry, it's Fibonacci. It's spelled Fibonacci.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right, carry on.
So, but one of the tools, actually, I was just having a discussion with someone about something similar to this earlier today, which is usually when a stock, or an instrument breaks out. And let me use this as an example right here. Hopefully, this will work here. When something breaks out, so in this case, this instrument here, this is still the same S&P. So it was going here from 420, and it broke out and went up, right? And price kept going up, and then it made a new high. Unfortunately, with most people will buy when they see that it's just made a new high. But what I try to caution people is usually when you see an instrument make a new high, you need to go and see where it made the last high. So even if one was going to buy this stock, let's say this was Apple or Tesla, or Ford, when you have a new high, most of the time, the instrument will come back and test where it broke out from. And that is why I put this red line here. And as you can see, it went up, broke out. The price was higher than this high, than this one, than this one. But ultimately, it came back, even though it did go a little bit lower, it came back to test that area before now shooting to a new high. So that's just one of the ways that people can look in. I mean, if they don't have the type of instrument that I have, and there are companies out there that provide some of these things, either for monthly fee or one that people can just procure outright and have for their own utilization.
All right, brilliant. Just in terms of the tools that you would need, um, a lot of people watching this, I suspect, will want to dabble into it. But as it's in, you know what? When people try these things out, they probably try it depending on their wallet, £100, £1,000, just to see how it plays out. But they want to commit all of those funds to trading. So are they free? So what tools do you actually need? What brokerage firm do you have to be on in order to carry out these trades? And is there a fee involved, or can you access it free of charge to the point of being able to trade without being able to access some of the additional add-ons?
Yeah, what I actually encourage people to do is, for most people, depending on their financial situation, in the case of Robinhood, Robinhood is available in the United States, but I don't believe it's available in Europe. Webull, spelled Webull, is a similar platform. And that's actually available in Europe, I believe in Nigeria, Australia, France, and some other places. But the good thing about, I mean, I've had people say, wow, this is so good. Can I put $1,000. And by slow down, that's not what we're doing. One can literally open an account with Webull or TradingView for $200 or £200. So this is not an issue of going to go and put in a whole gang of money. And with those sites, they do have some of these tools that kind of gives you an idea of, okay, this thing, even though it's up here, you should kind of pull back and test this area that it previously was at before continuing up. So for most people, we're not talking a capital investment of thousands of dollars or pounds. And even if they do have that, I tell people, don't put, especially when you're starting out. What I do personally is I put out 2 to maybe 7, 8 trades out to people that I know, and I publish it out and email it to people, and I give them the entry price, I give them the target price that they're looking at, and usually a lot of those option positions will literally be bought for $10, $20, and potentially looking at 400, 600%. Well, that's what I look for. I'm not able to do 10, 20%.
Yes. All right. In terms of your recommendations, we'll get into that in the course of this conversation. But it is something we would look to bring into the loop at some point,
Sure.
depending on how this experimentation goes.
Yeah.
So because how I envision is because this is a service that people have been looking to access, but they've often found it that daunting sensation that, oh, this is too complex a space
Right.
for me to enter. But if they have somebody like you to hold their hand through it, I think a lot of people will want to onboard into this sort of space. So at some point, we'll set up a Telegraph group around these daily recommendations. And again, the disclaimer, this is not financial advice.
Financial advice. I
It
was
is
just
not
going to say
financial
that.
advice. Do your due diligence. We only have the benefit of Kando's experience in the industry. And as with finance, there's always an element of risk. Kando can do. Re-emphasize that for the benefit of the audience.
Absolutely. Any information that you see in this broadcast, be it now or in the future, are not financial advice. Everyone should do their own due diligence. Though we do everything to mitigate risk, and for the most part, options that we get into, especially for beginners, are usually in the $10, $20, £20 range, which will be the maximum. So whatever you buy an option for, be it $10, $20, or $100, that is the maximum that you can lose if the trade goes against you.
And do not invest more than you can afford to lose. That's I think nobody really needs to be
You
told
should
that.
never invest more
Yes.
than you can have in anything, even if you're just buying stock or house. Yes.
All right. Before you carry on, what are the downsides to this, or what pitfalls? What are the stumbling blocks? Where do people go awry in this sort of a space?
Sure. Like the saying goes, in all you're getting, get understanding in anything that you do. So having an understanding of, number one, what are options, and like I said earlier, they're essentially a tool that allows you, or that gives you the right to acquire something, but not the obligation. So you can get out of the deal. You could buy an option today and see it going down, and the value of the option that you bought for $20 has now gone from $20 to $10, and you can sell it and get out at $10, and you've lost 50% of the option. Or you can buy an option today, and by the end of the week, it is up 500%. Even if you bought the option today and the contract is for February 23rd, you can literally close out of that deal at any given time during market hours. So again, the worst scenario is, I mean, you bought an option for a specified price, targeting a specified date. If instead of the if instead of the underlying instrument going up, it goes down against you. What you paid for that contract, Auctions Act contract, is a contractual obligation. What you paid for that contract, be it $1, $5, $20, is the maximum that you can lose. So going in, you already know, okay, if I decide to go into this deal, this is the maximum I can lose. And if the worst scenario happens, that amount is the maximum that you can lose. I don't know if that clarifies it or not.
No, that clarifies this. Just to pause you, and I want you to continue your sequence of explanation. But does this formula, does it transmute into the crypto space as well? Can you use this sort of templating within the crypto space as well? Because a lot of our viewers, I suspect, will be in that crypto space as well. So can you have options on crypto using this formulaic system?
Yeah, I have never actually traded crypto myself, but it's something that I've followed actually for years now, from when uh, Bitcoin was at $32, basically giving out, all of my understanding of where price should go to. And I believe within the last 2 weeks, this particular chart in front of you is that of Bitcoin. So you to answer your question, yes, you can utilize this on any traded instrument. So this is the chart of Bitcoin, and what it has done is it has traded up. It has traded up. This was the last buy area at this black dark line, and all it has done since then is traded up and up and up and up, and then it made a high over here at about, I forgot what that number was. Let me see. About 48,900 or so. So again, this is not financial advice, but just looking at the crypto space. My understanding is Bitcoin is currently at about $43,000. And my expectation is that between now and the first week of March, it's going to fall down to 32,000.
Okay. So what is the trade? If that is your expectation, should somebody then, the cautious trader, place their options on roundabout 35 thereabout to
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so should the cautious trader then place their options on roundabout 35,000 thereabout, and then just make cautious profits, which probably still sizable, but erring on the side of caution. Where would you ask smart money to place with Bitcoin?
What smart money is actually doing, and unfortunately, like I stated earlier, I personally have never actually traded Bitcoin. I've followed it, and I've been able to provide people with my projections as to where I saw price go from 32,000 or thereabout, all the way up to.
Sorry. To what degree of accuracy as those?
They have been Babalawo degree accurate. Scary.
Oh God, to that level,
Really.
celestial proportion.
Yeah. Yeah. And really there's nothing crazy about this. For those who understand trading and how it works for the most part, all this regardless of what this is, this just happens to be Bitcoin. All it has done is ran up, ran up, ran up, ran up, and it got to a high, right? And to the left of this price, let me see if I can. Okay, so it got to this high, and all it has, and then it did what we call a left shoulder. So let's say this is a human being, this is the top of their head, and these are the shoulder areas. What we will expect, professional traders, the Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, and all of them, I'm sure they're salivating right now because we're making a right shoulder over here to the right. So this is what they call head and shoulders. So based on that, and a lot of these assertions really does not take into consideration how wonderful, whatever the instrument is, or it's not. It's just what is big money doing? What are the money movers? The Goldman Sachs, the BlackRock. These people are paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases millions, to look at this and establish, okay, what is the probability of the next move? And based on this, anyone that knows anything about head and shoulder will understand that all it that is happening here is we're making, well, if you're looking at the computer, we're making a right shoulder. We already have the left one. So once the right shoulders are concluded, I actually sent out, I sent out this chart when this move up was at about 40,000, that it was going to come to 43,000. And I think some of the people that I sent this thing out to, they have those charts that showed where it was at 40, and currently we're at about 43. So the expectation do not put any money on any trade that you cannot afford to lose. So my expectation is for it to do exactly this within the next 5 weeks. Come from up here to down here at 30. So in terms of trading it, I myself am seriously considering opening a future. My understanding is that to trade Bitcoin down, you do that utilizing what they call a future account. So the way I understand that the future account works is if you open an account and you're willing to take the risk, again, do not trade with any amount you cannot afford to lose. So the projection is that if one opened up a futures account and let's say one sell Bitcoin, because I guess that's an area we actually never touched, which is not only can you make money when an instrument is going up, you can actually make money when it's going down too. So in this case, what I'm planning to do, and this is not a financial advice, is to open a futures account and sell Bitcoin at 34,000. And my understanding from those who trade futures is that on $1,000 account, if this actually happens in the next 5, maybe 6 weeks, that $1,000 of selling Bitcoin will actually return about $12,000 if that plays out. If it doesn't, if Bitcoin goes to 50,000, I am willing to lose that $1,000.
All right. That sounds like quite a risk. Would like to go on that journey with you if you are able, but only really open up as much as you're comfortable to open up.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, woman. Let me say this real quickly.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm just doing 1,000. My understanding is people can, those who are interested, they can do 1%. of the price of the instrument. So 1% in this case will be $430. Bitcoin is at 43,000, give or take. So they can sell 1% of that amount, which will be 430, and the maximum they will lose if it goes against us is the $430, which is still a lot of money. But the potential also is that if we do get this fall, that could be 10x of the amount invested. But for most, if people are just starting out, I will not advise them or suggest to them to do something like this. I would suggest for them to do something like an SPY option. And actually, on that, let me quickly go into this. Let me use this as a quick example here. On this chart, basically we had been coming down. We came down here, we made a move up. We did not get a retracement that we're looking for here in November. December. In January, we came up, we came back down to this dark black line, which is a buy area. So for this month of February, price is currently up here. And based on our projections and the metrics that we look at, we are expecting the price, this is SPY or SPX 500. We're expecting it to come back down to this black line, hopefully between today and Friday. So we're gonna be consulting with all of our pastors and our fathers and Babalawo for them to help us bring it down here. And if it does come here, I've already put out the projection for the month of February, is that if price does come down here, we'll be targeting the end of February. We'll be targeting, and down here is okay, let me start all over. Current price is 494. We are expecting price to come down to about 482, give or take. If that does happen between
sorry, what's the stock? What stock are we looking at?
I'm sorry, this is SPX 500 or the SPY.
Okay. Are we looking at the whole market? Sorry, whilst you were speaking, I was opening up my Binance account where I have abandoned it for quite a while now, but I have about over $3,000 worth of crypto space there, which I'm willing to surrender to this experimentation for us to play with. But carry on.
Okay. So this is SPY, or also known as SPX 500, different accounts. So the current price of it is 494. We are expecting it to come down to this dark line here, and this green line here is the 200-day moving average. We can get into that some other day. So our expectation is that that green line is what is continuously holding this price move up. So we're kind of expecting it to come down, price to come down to right around that dark black line, where it will meet the 200-day moving average, and that will be right around 482, give or take. And if that happens, our target for the end of February will be this instrument being at 507. So if it moves down here, what I've already put out as my projection is that we'll be looking in the option contract to buy the 495. So price at 482. We'll be looking to buy the 495 contract for the end of February, precisely February 29, actually. And if we get that move of it coming down and we buy those 495 contracts, and price actually ends up going to our target of 507, if we pay, just as an example, if we paid $50 per contract for those 495 contracts, and this actually plays out, our profit will be the difference of the 495 and the 507, which is what is that? 95, 507, which is 12 points. So those contracts, whether we pay $20 for them or we paid $50 for them, if this plays out, we'll be able to sell them for $1,200 each. If it plays out. If it doesn't, we're willing to lose the $50 or $20 or whatever we actually ended up paying for them.
All right, that sounds like quite a promise. I'm not quite sure if we're going to do it today or maybe we do it on a follow-on session. I would like to commit our funds to some trade just for a real life experimentation. Not more than $100 thereabout. You know, I'm not. I don't command quite the millions that you do, but just for the benefit of the exercise, maybe I'll be able to. And then, of course, it'll be a real organic walkthrough. So maybe I'll commit like about $100, and then I'll commit. I want us to straddle two spaces, the SPY space and the crypto space as well. But we'll do that in the course of other sessions. But pick it up from where you were in terms of talking us through an understanding of this market space.
Sure. And just like you were talking about, I am actually going to make my account available if and or when this price comes here. I will be buying those options as stated and letting everyone know exactly what I'm buying, show the account, show the profit or loss. So I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, personally.
All right, that's brilliant. How important is volatility to this market space? And if it is important, which I suspect it will be, how crucial is an understanding of that market in order to understand the volatility and then to be able to future project to where the profit is, either up or down?
Yes, absolutely. Volatility, especially when you're dealing with options, volatility is actually your friend. But again, having an understanding of what's going on, or having, being in a group with people who have an idea of what's going on, because that's actually the reason I wanted to bring up this chart here for a second. Let's just take a look here. So if one is not in the know, so to say, right? If you look at from this left of this chart, this thing was trading up and trading up and trading up and trading up. And it got to this purple area, which for those who have tools like this or similar tools, understood that, okay, this is where all these people that have been buying, they're going to take profit here. I mean, they've been making money. So they're going to get out here. And the question then becomes, if you had been buying and you took your profit here, how do you know where it's going to go down to? Is it just going to come down here? Is it just going to come down here? Or is it actually coming here? Or is it coming to this green area here? So it is, again, that's why I said, in all you're getting, you have to have understanding of what's going on. Because those who had been buying from down here or even prior, and price got up here and things started to go down, a lot of people will panic and get out because they're seeing their gains beginning to go down. But if they understood that this is just a temporary thing where people will get out and take profit and go and wait for the next opportunity to buy again, because we actually ended up going higher. So what I've not been able to ascertain is how to get people that might be interested charts of this nature to help them. I personally have a few people kind of working on that, But in the meantime, I mean, all I can commit to is providing the information as I see it, and I take the trades that I put out there myself. So
All right, that's brilliant. A couple of questions. The first one, do you need to understand the industry space? So, like Tesla, do you need to understand the market motoring, or Apple computers, or do you can you get all the information you need just from the charts?
personally, the vast 90 something percent of option trades that I take, I don't even know what the company's name is. I just know the symbol because the chart tells you the story. This is what I tell people. It doesn't really matter what the company is, how wonderful they are, what they're selling. It really doesn't matter. What matters is those with the big money. What are they doing? You know, a company can have an earnings report, and the earning report can be so bad that it's just horrible, and the stock can still go up. And there are instances when a company reports a very good result, and the stock still goes down, and it's like a head scratcher. It's like, what's going on here? But what we have in the market, the power brokers, is one of the things people don't understand. Unlike maybe 25, 30 years ago, where you bought, they invested part of your 401k or your retirement account with Ford or GM, and you come back 30 years later, you have dividends you can live on. But the big boys and the big girls, they've changed the market now. It's all about levels. When something gets to a certain place, you see this dark line here in the middle of this chart?
I do, yes.
That's a buy area. So the big boys, they have their orders waiting here, regardless of what's happening with this instrument. I mean, and I can bring in, it doesn't really matter what it is. But the point I'm making is these levels, this is Apple here. This is a daily chart of Apple. It had been going up and going up, and it got here to the take profit. And the big boys, they just started taking profit. And it doesn't, and this is the other thing that, because most people are not in the financial market, just like, most people are not doctors and they will not understand, you know, medical profession. But what happens is when the powers that be, and it's not a conspiracy, it's just money managers. This is what they do. This is how they can afford their luxury vacations. And I can only go to Motel 6 because I'm not in the elite, you know. So they know the areas where profit will be taken. They know and they already have orders waiting. Most retail traders like myself, will be praying to the computer, please come here, please go up. But orders are, the reason why you see these big moves from these areas is because they have millions of orders waiting there. People are not sitting at their computer entering this. The orders are already waiting. So when price is coming down, hits that area, is buy, 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 millions of orders buying, 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 buying. And that's what pushes price up. Not whether the company is a good company, the CEO is a church goer, or the CEO is an imam in a mosque. None of that matters anymore. It used to matter, but they have bastardized the markets.
Right. Let me ask you this. Can you day trade this space? And if you can day trade this space, is there a higher propensity of risk in day trading and commensurately a higher profit margin? So trading the micro movements in terms of a day trading, what are your thoughts on that? Would you recommend it? Is it possible? And would you recommend it?
Yeah, I actually do day trade. you know, myself. But again, it's all about understanding what's going on. Like each one of these boxes you see up here is a day from the beginning of a trading day. So if I go right here to this line, that is October the 1st. I don't know if you can see it on the bottom where it says 20240201 right here on the bottom. There's a black box down there.
Yes, we can't quite make it out, but we'll go with it anyway. Carry on.
And the end of that is 02 the same day. So that this is this particular instrument, when the day started, it was parabolating, 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 and they brought it down here. In this particular case, we have areas identified by numbers and letters. And for this particular day, our expectation is that we'll go from the numbers that we have here, we call it PP or CP, central pivots. And when we have a central pivot, our expectation is that we're going to go to R2, which is second resistance area. So if I had been sitting there at the computer and I was interested in trading this, so when all this was happening, I will only be interested if price came down to here to buy. If price doesn't come here, I do nothing. Like this is today. This is the beginning of today. This box right here. Yesterday, when price was around here before market closed, in anticipation, because I could see today's box yesterday, just like this next box is tomorrow's trade. This is where the Babalawo aspect of this thing comes in, being able to see the future. So yesterday, when price was right around here, I personally sold this SPY. I bought the 494 puts, meaning I'm expecting it to go down today. So because I was, because I was able to see what tomorrow's projected trade is supposed to be, I sold some contracts that okay, well, today is going to go down and go down below 494. And currently, it is currently at 493. So if this ends up playing out, because my expectation is at a minimum by the end of today, this is still SPY, that at a minimum price will close or at least come to this red line I just put here. Really, my expectation, my real projection is for it to come. Let me change this to blue. Oops, sorry. Is to come to the lower line is my real expectation, but I'm not greedy, you know. And based on, so the answer to your question is yes, one can day trade it if you have the time or if you're able to establish, because just like I put this trade on yesterday, I could have just put in, okay, if it makes 50% of what I paid for that trade, it should close me out and put the money in my account. So you don't really have to babysit it. But I do, I like babysitting.
Do you have to babysit it though? Because if
So
you set your trade and you set a stop loss in terms of where you are comfortable not to go below,
yes,
can you not and then a sell at whatever spike you
absolutely,
anticipate? Yes. Can you not just set
absolutely.
the trade and go about your day,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
at the end of the day come and see if you won or lost?
yeah. So I mean, for day trades, I mean, you can do. I mean, I do that primarily on options that I'm expecting for a week or the month or a few months out. But you're correct. You can take the trade, put a stop loss, and put an amount of profit that you want, and just go about your business. And one of, I guess, two or three things will happen. Either it hits your stop loss and takes you out for a percentage loss or an entire loss of what you paid for that contract, or it will get to your projected profit and close itself out for a profit. So the answer to the question is yes, you can.
All right, brilliant. As we start to bring it to a crescendo,
Sure.
what other things have I not asked that you feel necessary that people should be aware of?
I think we have done a good job of touching on the essential, especially for people that are going to be starting out. I think the one thing that I want people to take away from all of this is that number one, options are not, they're not a monster instrument out there that is out to kill anyone. They're just another um, financial instrument. And my particular intent of doing this is whether someone is a surgeon, your physicist, your police officer, or a cashier. Um, Everyone should avail themselves of this type of knowledge because this can really help to boost up anyone's financial bottom line. And regardless of whatever else you do, add this to you know, add this to your portfolio. And the risk, again, personally, uh, I don't. I mean, everyone loses money if you're trading. If you trade long enough, you will lose money. But I'm not in the business of losing money.
All right, that's brilliant. So before we close it off, just walk us through again. What tools would you need to be able to function within this environment? So you already spoke about Yahoo Finance, that's a good source of information. And then as to carry out trades, you spoke about Robinhood, which you say narrows only to the United States. You also spoke about Webbull or Webull rather, Webull, which you says which you said has a greater expanse, covers more of the globe, and then you spoke about Fibonacci. But what functions? So just tell us through the toolkits that you would need in your armory in order to access this sort of market space.
Yeah, I think the primary tool really is being able to set up an account with one of those platforms that you just outlined, be it Interactive or Webull if you're in Europe or in Africa, and then Robinhood if you're in the United States. I think those are the primary things, and just utilizing Yahoo Finance, you can see, there are charts on there, and with a lot of these companies or ETFs or even commodities, there are experts. I mean, that monitor those spaces, and they provide you with essentially what their expectations are of that instrument. I think as time goes on, if we continue to do this broadcast, I will commit to bringing in other tools that can help people, get them to a level where they'll be able to do this on their own. Because my thing is empowering people to do stuff, not for everybody to be coming to me. And what if I got hit by KKLM tomorrow? Then what? So let's empower as many people as possible, and that way you even have more eyes looking at so many other things, not just.
All right, that's brilliant. That's excellent. So we're coming up to the hour. So I think we've covered pretty much. Well, I'm not sure we've covered everything, but we've covered quite a lot. But what I will do is to record it and then publish it. But in the course of this conversation, I was actually having the thought that we are recording it now, so I'll capture it, download it, and then save it. But rather than publish it, I would like to live stream it So we will speak about that offline if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah,
I want to live stream this session, this video, so that we do it in the format that of our usual live stream. So in the course of people watching, they can come in with questions that I wasn't able to ask, or you didn't think to
sure.
address, and then a more interactive sort of a session.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that. And like we said, this was intended anyway to be an intro, kind of give people an idea of what this is, and try and dissuade them from this thought process of, oh, you require thousands of dollars to do this, or if something went wrong, you might lose your house or something like that. No, it's nothing like that. It's actually, to me, it's a better risk factor.
All right, that's brilliant. That's excellent. So very well timed. So we're coming up bang on the hour. So we'll wrap it up here. And we'll say thank you to Kandu. So parting words from you, Kandu.
Yeah,
go on.
yeah, absolutely. Let's let as many people as are interested, because one thing I have known, especially in the financial market, is the the powers that be. Um, they do this, or they have people that do this for them, and their children are learning to do this at 18, 20. And being able to monetize as much as possible and still having a job. So I want to be in a position where we're able to teach this to all of our children, so that they will be able to utilize this along with whatever else they're doing in their professional lives.
All right, that's brilliant. That's excellent. So thank you, Kandu. So I'll speak to you off screen to arrange and agree a time and date that we're going to live stream this, so that the audience can come in and get a full engagement of it. So thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking the time out. We close it off here, and see. All right. So that was it. So that was a pre-recorded session we can do. Who talked us through? I hope you were paying attention and you took notes. So we pre-recorded that. So rather than me publish it as a video, I spoke we can do offline, and we agreed then that we were going to live premiere it, so that whoever has questions can come in and ask him questions. So we have can do here. So let's take it in whatever order. We start off with IC3. So IC3, meet can do.
Thank you very much for inviting me on this stream. That was a wonderful presentation, Kandu. I'm very glad to be here and to be able to ask some questions. Very interesting. The statement that really sparked my ears up, made me prick my ears up, was you said, they bastardized the market. You said, they bastardized the market. So, please, will you expound on who are the they, and how can a market be bastardized? That's my two questions.
Yeah, absolutely. The boys and girls in the financial markets. I think I was trying to use the example of like 30 years ago, 40 years ago. You work for a company, you contribute to your IRA, or any of the other retirement account, and 30 years later, you have a good retirement account. But the financial market, I think, really started changing in the days of the junk bond kings. I don't know if you remember Michael. Can't remember this guy's name now. Anyway, when they started
There was a
selling all
movie
this
about it, I
junk,
think, wasn't there?
yeah, Yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood
When they
made a
started
movie
doing all
about that.
these junk bonds things, and like what happened in 2007, 2008 was another example of that. At that time, I was actually still working at Lehman, and
Lehman
um,
Brothers. Yeah.
yes, at a company like that, your Lehman, your Goldman Sachs, what you what you're expected to do is to actually retain up to 40% of investors' capital. And it really started, I believe, really with Lehman because we're over leveraged on the on the on the on the on the loans that were being given out, on the companies that were taking public, and that started the dominoes because they were packaging all these loans. But at that time, I was in California. People were buying 10 houses. I mean, when I say 10 houses, I mean 10 500, $600,000 houses with no documentation of income. And they would just package those loans and sell it off. So that was, I mean, that's what I mean. It's not, there's not a day conspirators out there. It's just, this is what the world is turned into, you know? So, but um, what I'm talking about here with options is mitigating risk, utilizing a well-defined risk level, and is not just shooting out there to see what happens. Personally, I am very, very careful. I mean, I am extraordinarily careful. I don't just go in to buy anything or sell anything.
All right, brilliant. Does anyone have questions specific to trading? Let's hear from Joel of Nashville. Joel, I think you wanted to ask, is it a trading specific question, Joel? Because we're happy to go into the politics and the historical backdrop, but really, is really setting people on the road to financial freedom is the purpose really of this particular series. So do you have any questions that really goes to the heart of that, Joel?
At least one man. Thank you very much, one man, and thank you, Kendu, for coming. Are you guys hearing me very well? Can you hear
We're
me?
hearing you, maybe not very well,
Okay,
but we're hearing you anyway.
okay. And thank God, at least for once, we're not talking Tinubu today. Um, at least we're talking money. I can see
Joel,
Baba T is here.
Joel,
Guys.
What did I do?
Joel,
What?
hold on, Joel,
Okay.
Joel, hold on. Don't take your hopes that high. It's just 10 a.m. in the morning in the U.S., so we still have time to talk about Tinubu later. Okay?
Don't worry, the fighting will come later. There's always be fighting. Don't worry about that. The fighting will come.
Yeah. So thank you very much, can do. At least something refreshing. Yeah. So I do options as well. Um, I've been given some tea by Baba T, BT, who is also here. But the issue there is this, right? Is there any way that you have do you have students that you groom? Do you have uh, a way of teaching people in a group, even if it's a WhatsApp group or something, and give them, because some of these things, I'm a busy person. And right now I'm even in school for something else. So putting in so much time into it, it's not something like learning on our own is going to give us it's going to take us so much time from us. So is there any way you just have a group where you can just give out these informations and on a more closer group? That is my question.
Yes, let me attempt at that. I can do. We'll be setting up a Telegraph and a Discord group around this sort of money space. I'll discuss that we can do offline. So we'll set it up and then we'll attach it then to when this rests as a video on the platform for anybody that's interested to come join. So that's the most direct route to accessing Can-Do.
Okay. I mean, and that is my question, because I've lost money in options. I've lost money, but Babati knows, right? So I'm trying to go back, but this time I want to be sure of what I'm really doing.
Can I
Yeah.
expand on that? Can I expand on that real quickly?
Go ahead.
Number one, Babati is my Oga in this option space, so that's my teacher in this option space. But
No comment. I
yeah,
don't
I
know
mean,
what you're
you
talking
trade long
about.
enough.
I know.
It, anyone that trades, I mean, you will lose money. It's just part of the game. You know, it's what happens. There's no way you're going to be a trader and don't lose money. But I love using that real estate example because it's about leverage. It's about utilizing a small thing to move a bigger object. So, in terms of people starting out, I actually used to send out all these trades to like 140 people that were in my in my group, so to say. But unfortunately, I fell really sick at the beginning of last year, so I had actually stopped trading from the beginning of last year till about probably October. So, but as a person, I mean, like I said, I had like 140 people I used to send this out to just via email. And everyone and their mother has told me, hey, you need to be on YouTube. I'm a very private person. I'm not a limelight guy. If I'm able to utilize, a vessel like this, and we can set up a Discord channel and put the projections out there, I'm more than happy to do that. Because again, when you move around certain group of people, you will really understand that yourself and even your children are at incredible disadvantage. When I was at Lehman, there were people that were putting $20,000 a year into their 1-year-old accounts every year. How is your child going to compete with those children? So, to me, an instrument like this is not about leveling the playing field or competing with anyone, but let's utilize this for ourselves. Let's teach our children this so that, at least from a financial standpoint, anyway, they'll be able to, be the best that they can.
All right, brilliant. Let's bring Cryptic Tech in. I think who has come in specifically for this topic. So Cryptic, unmute and then put a question to Can-Do. Cryptic.
Thank you, one man. It's been a while, and thank you to Can-Do. I've listened, even though I joined a little bit late. Was engaged with some other things here, but what a good presentation you've shared. I myself, I've traded in the past. Started trading forex in 2004, and since I moved to the US about 14 years ago, I stopped trading. By the way, around 2009, shortly after the global meltdown. We didn't fully understand what was going on then because I was in Nigeria, but then when I got to the US and read more, and then understood the the things that went wrong here that affected everybody over the world, it then became very clear to me why we lost what we lost back then. But of course, we made some money too. And since 2016, around April, during my days in grad school here in the US, I met a friend who introduced me to crypto. So, so I'm full blown crypto guy now. I, like I said, I had traded, but I stopped trading. I do more of researching projects, picking solid projects, and just holding and going with the cycle of the market. So, but listening to you now, it's kind of giving me like a fresh view on something that might be slightly different from what I'm used to. I know about options, just on the side, not necessarily in details because I haven't traded options. But I know that there are similarities between that and the knowledge that I have. And my question from that is, if I were to decide to, look into these as an opportunity to improve my financial situation, add it to my existing portfolio, so to speak, or tools, what would be your advice coming into trading options? You're muted. Sorry.
Unmute. Can do. Unmute. Can do.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think even with people that decide not to trade options, um, it is very instrumental to have some knowledge of how trading works. And I think a very good example of that is Apple right now. Apple. Apple was at about $263. I think I remember to the number 2 months ago. Okay. So there's nothing wrong even if you want to own a position in an instrument, be it Apple or anything else. My question is, if you have a tool that allows you to understand what's going on, instead of you buying 1,000 shares of Apple at $263, if you have the right tools, it will tell you that, you know what, this thing is coming down to 180. So instead of buying at 263, you're able to buy at 180 if you're just buying the stock without options. And like I've told a few people of recent here, we are actually, especially something like Tesla, for example. I think it's at about, what is it now? Where's Tesla? 193 right now. We're expecting it to go to 205 at some point, hopefully in the next week, 2 weeks. But this is the madness of this whole thing. When it gets to 205, we expect it to trade down from 205 to $156. So again, in all you're getting, get understanding. Even if you're going to buy just buying the stock, do you buy at 205 or do you wait because you have an understanding of what's going on? If you're going to load up, wait till it gets to the 156. Actually, it will go lower than that based on what we're looking at. So right now, I'm salivating. I am salivating right at this current moment. I'm looking at it. It's at 193. When it gets to 205, we'll be looking at selling the $180 contracts probably for the end of March. And I had shared that information with some people. Those contracts previously were $81 each. Then when Apple moved up a little bit, they became $31. At the rate Apple is moving, I'm sorry, Tesla. I'm sorry, I misspoke. At the rate Tesla is moving up now, those 180 contracts will probably be selling for about $10 a share. If Apple gets to 205, and if our expectation is actually what ends up happening, I know this might sound crazy. If Apple goes from 205 and it actually goes to 256 if we buy the 180 contract. In essence, what we're saying, or what we're envisioning as profit, will be the difference between the 180 contracts that we bought and let's call it 260. I know I said 256, but just round the numbers up. That will be a $20 difference. If we pay $10 for those contracts, we will sell those for $2,000. I know it's crazy, but and if we do buy those contracts and Apple just continues to go up and doesn't go to 156, we lose $10 or $20 per contract. But I'm gonna be borrowing money even from Bank of America on this trade. I'm not suggesting that anyone should do that, but I guess I'm just alluding to that to say the opportunities are out there, and it's not about people buying a whole gang of stuff. I think one of the ones that I put out yesterday was SAVE. I didn't even know what they represented. I came to find out it's Spirit Airlines. So yesterday we sold the $7 put contracts when it was at $7, I don't know, $7 something. And as of right now, we're already in profit of about 300% just from yesterday. That doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen every day. And we are going to lose, is a guarantee.
All right, brilliant. We're going to track that Tesla thing just to see how that plays out. But let's bring BT in. I'm not quite sure if BT actually has a question or he has a lecture, because he, of course, an expert.
He's an expert.
Good morning.
BT
Good morning,
expert, though.
Kando, how are you? Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to no, Kolito, yeah, Kando, no. So I just wanted to advise that for those that want to start trading, like Kando said, to understand the market. An example would be for those that trade earnings. You want to understand what they're buying, what they're selling, inflows, outflows. That gives you an understanding of how to trade. So beyond just before even learning the tools of trading, your EMAs and all that kind of stuff, know how money flows into the market, how money goes out in the market, why the money goes in and out of the market. That gives you an idea of the direction to trade. And understanding that, the platform that you should I'm not saying about Robinhood, I don't know about Robinhood, but you should be able to paper trade, just to experiment, just paper trade first, fake money kind of trade. I use Thinkorswim, and that gives you an opportunity to actually go back and trade 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 2 years ago, the market. So you can trade different scenarios with paper money and experiment with whatever you learned. So I would say before you put in real money, paper trade first and take it from there, and just learn as much from Kando and see how it goes.
All right, brilliant. Does anyone else want to come in? We've held Kando hostage for over a week now. So does anyone else want to come in before we start to take final words?
Please,
Let
me interject something real quickly. Thank you, BT, for bringing the paper trade aspect up. I wasn't even thinking about that. I guess because I was thinking that everybody has $10 or $20, but it's important to be able to practice and get some fake wins under your wings.
Hey, one man.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, Joel. Did you want to come in? Who wanted to come in? Was it Cryptic?
So,
yes. Could you?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Joel
Sorry.
first, then Cryptic. So let Joel go first, then Cryptic.
Okay, thank you very much. What I wanted to ask you is, when are you setting up the group up?
Yes, we'll discuss that offline, and then we'll send it out. I think I have your number, so we'll send it out, and then in the course of sessions, we'll promote it, and then we'll tag it onto this video as well. so that whoever is watching it back can just go and pick up where the groups are.
Yeah, because I asked because I have some
Because
trade I wanted to do.
sorry, Joel. Can do actually it puts out daily trade tips every single day, and it does that via email. So if we set up that group, then it can just also put those trading tips on there. But again, it's not financial. You know, you have to. We don't have to tell you have to do your due diligence, but please do your
Oh,
due
definitely.
diligence. This is not financial advice. It's just an experienced trader just start giving you the benefit of his experience.
No, no, no. One man, definitely. I've been doing it. So
Um,
I've made money from it. I've lost money from it. So it's not something like I'm not a rookie. I'm only rookie in terms of how it really works. I
um,
know some basics.
one
Baba
man,
T gave me some basics. Hello, am I?
one man, one man,
Yes.
one man.
Yeah, I'm
As an
here.
addition, I know I've mentioned this before, but I have gone into details. Yeah, I know I've mentioned this, but I've not gone into details. I have been working on an auto trading system that will actually trade for people, trade the currency market. So you don't even have to know how to do anything. Um, so that I've been that has been in testing, and we've done the beta testing, just letting it run by itself. We now have it running live with real money, and that is going incredibly well. So I'm just putting that out there. I mean, this is not option trading. This is currency trading. So for that, um, based on the way I have been testing this, is averagely people can open a currency trading account, um, and I'm using $500 or $1,000 because that's what I base the tests on. Um, I mean, you can open an account for $20, a currency trading account, you know. But based on what the type of what I'm looking for people to be able to do with that, um, when that I'm not really sure when that will become available to for it to launch. Uh, for those who are going to be interested in doing that, that's something that's going to be a service thing. So they will be paying, I don't know, somewhere around $100 a month or whatever it is for it. But you don't need to know how to trade anything. You don't. All you need to do is to have your system running. I advise people to put it on a VPS, which is a virtual network, and I don't even know how else to explain this. You don't have to do anything. It takes the trades by itself. It closes the trades out by itself. It puts the profit in your account. It takes the losses, and based on the testing that I've been doing, or we've been doing, I should say, on the average, it's taking between 10 and 14 trades a week, and on the average, it's been winning 12 out of the 14 trades every week. And on the winning trades, based on the amount that I'm utilizing, it makes about $76 per winning trade. And on the losing trades, it loses about $55. But so far is at an above 90% winning rate. If you want me to, I can share that with you real quickly.
Is it a bot? Is it your innovation? And is it something that can be patented?
No, no. Well,
Kind of,
the security,
kind of.
the
I need your
security
script, man.
behind this. Huh?
I need I need your script, man. I need your script. I need your script, man.
This
Come
is
on.
it. This is it down here. So it's taking the trades by itself, closing out the trades by itself. I don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You just open an account, This is a $500 account, and I guess it's not 700 and something. And it's only that because I'm actually having it run on 0.01 on this account. It was actually all the tests that we did was 0.25. So because of this account, I'm only using 0.01. At 0.25, which is what the test is based on, that's a profit of an average profit of $76 per account. And again, based on 0.25, when it loses trades, it loses about $55 each time. But at the 90, I mean, I've never seen anything that's a percent winning rate.
All right.
I've
What
never
we
seen.
will do is that we'll do a whole different session around this script or bot because I think it's
Yeah,
actually worth its own time. But just read it because I know people are eager to put you
yes.
questions. Joel, you've unmuted, but let's hear from Cryptic Tech first, and then Oriola, who hasn't asked the question yet. Cryptic.
Thank you, woman. Mine is quick. Could you take a look at your message on what is it? What is it? What is that? Instagram, please.
Me?
Yes, woman. Yes.
Oh, okay, will do. Oriola, let's
All
hear
right.
from you. Oriola.
Oh yeah. So I put some I actually type in on YouTube. For some reason all my messages are gone. Because I was asking questions. I'm not sure why. It looks like these days when I type in stuff, they always disappear. Um yeah. This is the best time for this stuff like this. This is way too early. I mean, people are at work. They will be in the afternoon or evening. So the question I have is this: do you think, because I feel like options are very risky, you have probably have to be like professional, just like you are, to be able to like stay in the front of computer to monitor your money. Um, don't you think regular stock would be good instead of just trading regular stock instead of doing options or day trading? That's one. Number two, I put in because what the tools that you have right now, the software application you're using, what's the name of it? And because for some of us, hopefully we if it's free to download, we can actually have, for some people that are already doing trading, like they can have like idea of the future of what they're trading on. And my other question is, I have some cryptos and some other stocks that I want you to like use your tool to determine the future for them. I kind of have some of them, but I just want to know like in the future what am I looking at? Just the same way you did the Bitcoin. What do you think? Look at Ripple for crypto, Ripple, Ethereum, Litecoin, Doge, and Shiba. Can you do all of that and predict what the future will look probably a month or two from now? Can you do that, please? And also
Not
for
on the
stocks.
spot. You can't do that on the spot. I mean, and not and then we have to discuss fees as well. What's
Okay.
going on here, Riola? You want the guy to turn you into a
I
millionaire in just off the
know.
back of
All
Baba T
right.
is my financial manager. We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna
I
charge for all the different things.
Can I can I can I just
let me
address?
add. Let me add. I'm almost done. My other stock that I want you to look at for me is look Intel, Neo, Lucid, most especially like the battery, like EV Go. I have lists of them, and Charging Point, because I want to know because I have some interest and I already invested in some of them because like how we are looking into future now. So I want to know if they actually would make money or something better. There's a good thing in the future. So if you can look into Intel for me, please. EV
Mr.
Go.
Riola, you're very ambitious.
Yeah, but that's how you do trading. Don't isn't it? That's how
No,
you do trading, right?
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
All right, that sounds like a heavy piece of work that you want to burden him with.
But
What
then,
will happen? Yeah, hold on, Oriola. What will happen is I'll speak to Kandu offline after this session, and if we gauge that there is an appetite for this sort of sessions, then we will find whatever slot we can in Kandu's very busy schedule for him to be appearing regularly to take on questions, expand knowledge, give out information, and all of that.
Can I say one thing real quick before Master Kando takes over? So for anybody that has 9 to 5, options actually, let me give you an example. Right now, I'm on the computer. I just made some trades. The first couple of hours of trade, I'm done for the day. If I make rounds early to go to work and I come back,
everybody super chat, Lord,
let's stay focused on the thing. But if I'm working early and I'm making rounds, so if I come back, I will come back and trade what Kando knows, the power hour trading. So you only have 2-hour window to trade. You don't have to be on the computer all day trading. That's anybody say that's not true. Just a couple of hours a day or an hour a day during the power hour or after the first hour of the market opening is all you need if you are trading options, in my opinion. Or maybe if you are doing your weekly or swing trade like Kando does, that's more long term. But if you have a 9 to 5 or you have busy schedule, just the power hour and around that time that afternoon, then that's all you need.
BT, I read books, man. Oh, you lose money because this things you gotta be like know how to take your money out and put it back in. If not, you'll be losing
lose
money.
because BT doesn't lose money. You see, what he's saying is essentially this: you have to trade when the big money is trading. There's no point sitting in front of the computer all day when there's nothing going on. So either essentially you know the hours that money is going to be moving, and you trade those 1 or 2 hours and be done for the day, or alternatively, what I'm doing and what I'm suggesting for people to do is let's look at trades for the week. So either we get in the trade most likely most of the time either on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's done by Friday, and you move to the next one. You see, again, Mr. Oriola, you stated something about buying stocks. I alluded to that earlier. There's nothing wrong in buying whatever you want to buy. The question is, are you buying it at $100, or do you have tools that tells you that okay, this thing, yeah, is a solid company. They're not gonna go under, but for whatever market forces are, this thing is going to go to $40. Will you rather buy at 100, or will you rather buy at 40? And yes, there are tools, even on TradingView. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put that on TradingView. But there are tools that I've been able to put onto TradingView that allows you to look at any traded instrument, regardless crypto, whatever it is. But again, even if you have the tools, do you know how to read it? It's one thing to have the tools. It's one thing to be able to. I mean, even my chart that I was showing there in that video. I mean, if you don't understand it, you're just looking at a whole bunch of lines and red and green. What does that mean? How do you interpret? How do you really interpret all of that? So, I mean, I am more than one man has my email, Babati has it. So if you, I mean, if you want to, you know, send me an email about those instruments that you spoke about, I can work on it and shoot out something to you. But again, like I said, and Babati also stated, it's not something that anybody needs to sit down all day. But if you guys have your cell phone, I want you to please do an exercise with me real quick. It will not take but a minute and a half. Can you go into the calculator on your phone, please? And put in 1,000 plus 500%. plus 500%. Plus 500%. Does anybody have what that number is?
Wait, that's 500%, right? That's
Correct.
yeah, that's $1,015 or 15.
No, it's 1,000
It's
plus
180,000.
It's 1,000 plus
180,000.
500% plus 500% plus 500%. That's three moves.
Yeah, 500% is five, right?
Yeah, that's
Well,
30,000.
it's 216,000. So part of my objective is this year we're gonna take at whatever time that people have the $1,000 or whatever. I'm not saying right now, even if they start the account with 200 and they build it to be 5,000 or whatever, we're gonna take $1,000. We're gonna take 3 trades and turn that to 200 grand. We're gonna do it. We can even do it live. It's not. I mean, I don't know what.
Just to be clear, just to be clear, what's being said. So starting from this point, if somebody is able to put down $1,000 now to experiment with, from now to the end of the year, we're going to turn it to $216,000.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just using that as this is just a side thing. I guess the ultimate point I'm trying to make is, it's not about taking trades and making 10% or 20. Personally, I don't do 10%, 20% trade. I just don't know how to do it, because the opportunities for 200, 400, 800% is out there. So I mean, why would I even be looking at 20%? But the real point I'm trying to make is that this is not about, we're not trying to buy Apple at $200 and wait 2 years for it to become $400 and make 100%. This is not that ball game. This is about studying what you want to do, understanding where the money movers are at, what they're buying, buy what they're buying. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to go with what the big money is doing. When they're buying, we're buying. When they're selling, we're selling. So the 1,000 is not. I'm not advocating for anyone to put 1,000 into anything. All I'm just saying is that we're going to build this up to a point where taking a $1,000 trade, a $5,000 trade, just becomes the norm. I mean, it's just money. Whether you do a dollar trade or you do a $500,000 trade, it's the same move. It's just a question of, do you believe? Have you done it enough times that you are confident and you're not gonna, have sleepless nights?
All right. Yes. Let's hear from Man of Prestige, who's just joined us. Prestige. I thought you were a property guy. I didn't know you were into options as well. Man of Prestige. Prestige, are you there? All right. Who else wants to come in before we start to take final words?
Yeah, me. Mr. Kando. First, if I can get your email, that would be nice. One man. Then secondly, I
Hey,
would like to
one
get
man, can I
information
come in?
about the. Okay, go. Okay. Let me finish
Hold
up
on.
then.
Let Joel land, because we called it just a moment ago. Let Joel land and then come in after him.
Yeah, if I can get that from one man, that would be nice. The currency trade thing, I'll be interested in that. And if I can get that also, if I can get that link from one man, that would be also nice after the show. I mean, he has my WhatsApp, so he can send me the information about your email and the currency trade app. And just to tell you that whenever whenever the group is going to be set up, I want to be part of it. And I can name you the floor for Man of Prestige. Then I can give my final thought. Thank you.
All right, Prestige, come in.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kandu, and one man for presenting him here. This is, really needed. But having said that, I'm a novice when it comes to Nigerian market, stock exchange and all that kind of things. I'm based in California, but this is too early. This is like a little bit after 7. I just woke up. But anyway, having said that, good morning, good evening, everybody. I'm just here to listen. I just came in. I'm not too much familiar with Nigerian market, but it's a privilege, something to look into. So I don't have that much commentary to make. But the only thing I'm kind of skeptical about Nigerian market, because of it's too volatile with with what's going on with the naira. If you do any kind of investment, what kind of return can you get? You just because even even do some real estate in Nigeria, I mean, to hotel management in Nigeria, that's a little bit stable, from what I did. So I'm kind of skeptical. I don't want to bore you down because I don't know how long you've been here. Maybe one more can send me the link, you said and everything, then we can go from there. I just want to make a comment just to listen.
Oh, all right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Prestige, Kandu is actually America based, and it's talking about
Okay.
the American market, not the Nigerian market. But so
Ah,
yeah. But if you go listen back, then it's very informative, the session so far. So we seek to start to wrap it up now, unless anybody else wants to say
hold on,
anything.
Well, I
hold on,
do.
hold on,
You
hold on
still
one
didn't
moment.
give
Thank
me
you.
the tools name.
Thank you very much. I didn't even know that. I thought you were talking about Nigerian market. Okay, definitely. Yeah, thank you. I mean,
All right, Oriola, let's hear from you, and then
Yeah,
I will take.
yeah. I understand that. I mean, even if I have the tools, I still have to learn it. But I'm asking that I still don't get the name of the tools. If I mean, is this something that you can share now, or is this some? Or is this? I don't know. Like you probably have to use money to get a tool like that. But do you have a tool? Do you have a name? Do you think there's a free one that someone can get and learn how to use the tools? Because it's always good if you're trading to know the future, unless you're gonna be there every time and do it for us. And I don't think you probably have the time for everybody to just be coming to you and tell you, can you look
Mr.
this up for me?
Oriola, Mr. Oriola,
No, you
what
can
if
say
I get
Oriola
it?
now. Oriola.
Okay. Yeah, well, if I just call you Oriola, my mother will slap me from the grave. But what if I get hit by Kekelemo tomorrow? The idea is to make this available to as many people as possible. So empower each person so that we're not just going to one person. So I mean, I think you might. I mean, just in terms of off the shelf stuff, you may want to talk to Baba T. If he's able to tell you some of the tools that he utilizes. Because what I use, well, we're working on. Well, I'll be working with one man on making it available to everyone. If that answers your question.
Okay. Baba T, what tools do you use?
Okay. You want me to say that on? Well,
All right, don't worry. You can type it in the chat.
no.
I gave you my email the other time.
No, it's fine. It's not. It's not that. Oh, I think this is the thing. There are basic tools, and everybody has their own trading styles. So you have people that use the Bollinger. That's what they do. Some people rely on VWAP trading. So it's for you to learn to see what is available, then decide what your own style of trading. So I would just send you stuff, you can study it, and then you experiment with many of them, then you can pick the one you want to. You get it? So everybody has their own trading style, but there are basic tools like a daily moving average, like your EMA, your VWAP, of course your volume. You must know what the volume is to trade. So there are basic tools, but for trading styles, you must pick advanced tools to then decide, okay, this is my trading style. But like you said earlier, Oriola, you work 9 to 5. I want to show like a month, right? You work
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, okay, just I will put my email down. We can correspond. So I will just tell you how if you're a 95 trader, what window for you. You can also do the swing trading like a weekly, like a candle does. But I will just show you the window of trading for people that work those hours, how to set your alarms. So you get the
Right.
So
No,
I would
you
just really think
right.
it behind the scenes.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Baba T,
Yes, sir.
why are you stingy with your trades? Why are you stingy with your trades?
Am I stingy?
Why are you stingy with your trades? You always stingy with your trade. Why?
No, I'm a spy trader. Everybody knows that. Like, everybody kind of knows even that that thing, but I'm a spy all the way. He knows that, But it's because that way, if you trade one thing at a time and in options, you start seeing the patterns over time. It becomes almost predictable of what it would do. So that's the benefit of options, in my opinion. I'm trying to learn like the forex thing, like Candle does and other things, but I'm more primarily options. So, but I will reach out to Oriade when we talk and we can do that. But Joel, I still have your contacts now. But you and your
Send me trade now. Send me trade now.
Candle is the master of sending. That is Baba.
Baba T, you see the currency one. There's nothing to learn. I mean, I've been trading currency for a minute, and it can be very difficult sometimes. To be because it's just really weird how that market trades sometimes. So being able to come up, I mean, this is not the only thing out there. There are other people out there that charge a gazillion dollars. But the beauty of this is, even me, I'm not trading currency anymore because now I have an employee that can do it for me. I mean, the system that is.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm watching what Kando. You still owe me your script, by the way, on TradingView. Yeah, so I want that script. So yeah.
All right. We seek to start to wrap it up. So we'll have final word from Kandu, and then we'll wrap it up and then schedule another one to continue the conversation. So Kandu, parting words.
Yeah, thank you, one man, for suggesting that we do this. And again, it's about empowering people, all people, to better their financial lives. And thank you for Baba T, reminding me that people can actually do with Robinhood interactive brokers. You can actually just start with a demo account. You don't even have to use real money. But for those who are interested in, either if they've traded before and have had bad experiences, I still have trades that go bad, in spite of all of the, years of experience and whatever research I think I have done. One thing that you be guaranteed is that you are going to lose trades. It's a given. It will happen. But it's about mitigating those risks and having, having trades where you can get, truly incredible returns. And that will be able to pay more than pay for the losses that do occur. So I really thank you all. Let's get on this journey. Let's make this the best financial year ever.
All right, thank you. Excellent. So that was Kandu, who's taking us through now a beginner's guide through options trading. So we'll be doing subsequent sessions, which I'll be arranging with Kandu offline, and he'll be bringing more expertise. We'll be bringing more experts still to bring in to widen that conversation. Maybe a crypto expert as well, because I know a lot of people. You see, people are already asking when the next session is. So we were just using this.
Oh, by the way, woman, I apologize. Your guy from Florida, where is he?
Which guy?
The trading, the crypto is what's his name from Florida? He comes from Orlando.
Is it Fidel?
Yeah, Fidel. Yeah.
No, Fidel now is young and rich. So I mean, they too many girls for him to have time for anything else. I suspect.
Okay.
A woman.
Yes.
It can
the crypto side, we can do a sequel to the session I did early last year, was it?
Oh yes, oh yes. That's yeah. So yeah, there it is. So we'll try to start to tie these things together. And yes. So we try introduce then that financial language to the session. So I have your details as well, so I can talk to you offline. So it's been excellent actually. I was a bit trepidatious. That all the people expected was for us to be insulting Peter Obi and Tinubu, but it looks as though there's somewhat an appetite for this sort of sessions as well. So and thank you for affording us. Sorry, Joel, did you want to come in, Joel?
No, just to say that for the first time, at least I get something for the Abadorians. It's very important to put it out there, because there's nothing to gain from you guys. But thank God, at least I can say, there is some things I can now say, okay, if you want me to forgive Tinubu, I can forgive him. Just just.
When it comes to money now, you forgive you worry.
Marginally, I'll forgive Tinubu marginally, just a little. But it's been a pleasure listening to all of you. I know there's always, we come out here, we talk. I know that we all have, even when I listen to fake Kulata and his fake data, I know, if you can make fake data, you can also make the right data too. So
Kulata is not fake. Kulata is right on the money on the economy.
It's a political language.
They had a bit of a fight the other day, so I think
No, it's all Bata. It's all Bata can do, So, but I know that we all have things, within us, that to give out to each other. So I'll be looking forward to it. And like I said, one man, I'm expecting his email. The discussions can still go on. So some of us that have made up our mind. So let's start up this stuff immediately.
All right, Bilan. So I'll share your email with your permission, can do, and I think you've already okayed that. So we do that, and then we'll set up the Discord Telegraph group as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we set up the Discord Telegraph group as well, whatever group we are most comfortable with, and then we start to see. So what you said really intrigued me. I'm not quite sure if you intended to say it or not, but we'll set off on that journey then to see if we can turn $1,000 to $250,000 between now and the end of the year.
No, sir, not a quarter. It's 216. You gotta be right on the money.
Well, it's Naira makes no difference. Don't worry. So there it is. We'll experiment as time goes on. We'll experiment with real money.
Yeah.
Just to actually put money to test. I'm willing to put some money down, but we'll experiment with real money. Just to to feel to feel both the pain and the pleasure of the journey. So we do that in the course of but I think you can do. It's coming up to 2 hours. So
just real quickly, you don't even have to do that. I will make my account visible, so real money, real account, and everybody can see what it is.
All right. Yes. So Telegram, I meant, not Telegraph. Thank you, Usman.
Okay. One more thing, one man. So how do we get this information? It's going to be through you, one man, because I'm interested. I've never been involved in trading, but or that kind of investment, there's a little bit stable that I'm into. But I'm very interested. So how do we have a contact? Is it going to be through one man or whatever?
Yes, what we're going to do is we're going to set up either a Telegram or a Discord group.
Okay.
And then the information will be pumping in from Can-Do into that space. So that's the idea. So we'll do that in the course of the weekend thereabout. And then by the time Can-Do comes up again, everything is ready to be moving in the different parts.
All right. Thank you, one man. And thank you, Mr. Can-Do, for coming up. Okay, I agree to you very much. Thank you again.
All right, thank you, Can-Do. Thank you, everyone. We'll leave it here. We'll reconvene for a session. We're back on later tonight, by the way, for the usual Kung Fu fighting. But we'll leave the financial. Yes, we'll leave the financial.
Those who
Let me
want that,
one man. Let
right.
me just say one man. Let me just say this. Let me just say this for those that stayed back yesterday evening for the after hour show. That was a wonderful session.
It was Babati. I listened to it.
It was
It
amazing.
was, and I listened. I also listened to Kolata, and I never had Kolata sound that way. I was really proud of him. I mean, it is not just that because we come out here to talk about bad government, but that is what we are seeing. We are seeing the effect on the people, and whatever you're doing as a government, if the people are crying, there was this guy, one man, he touched me. There was this guy that went to buy Gary in the market, right? And they
Joe,
told
before
him
you carry on, that was a skit. That was a skit. We also
whether it's kid or not, one man, right? These are the things that are happening in Nigeria. Our citizens ought not to live like that. So I mean, you see, I enjoyed Kulata yesterday because it was being frank. Adewale was being it was being a pinhead. But it's okay, we all have our own opinions. But I was so proud of Kulata yesterday. Very, very proud of Kulata yesterday. And equally Babati, because they were asking the real questions, right? They were asking the real question, especially in the area where you said that at least if you say we're going to do something, let us see. Let us see a trace of it. Like, let us see that something is starting up. Like, it's ought to be a process. If there's going to be light, it ought to be a process. I really enjoyed it yesterday, and I give them kudos. And I think now, one man, the show is becoming what it ought to be, because all the time it has been like, asking of Tinubu whether he does well or not. But I think now it's coming back home, because even we abroad right now, we're feeling it. We're sending that money down there, is spending every one of us. So I thank you guys yesterday, but you guys did wonderfully well. It was a wonderful session.
All right, brilliant. Let's wrap it up here, Joel. So thank you everyone for joining. Like I said, we'll reconvene for tonight to go back to our usual political diet. But now we've captured Can Do. We're not going to let him go. We'll lock him up in a golden cage.
Never. He's not going nowhere.
If every single member of this platform does not become a millionaire, we're not going to unlock the cage that we're locking Can Do in. So that's Can Do. Padded with Ajabota something, and we supply him with girls, but we won't let him go but until we all become millionaires. So thank you, Can Do. Thank you, everyone. We end it here. Reconvene for later on tonight, and